Hello, worldies, and welcome back to my naughty little channel. Today, I want to talk about why high maintenance women are seen as evil. If you like content like this, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss when I upload a new video because I'm always trying to drop something that I'm passionate about, whether it is providing validation to you all or some sort of breakdown or analysis. And you don't want to be the one who finds out about the video like when it's 3 days old. Come on now. Now, before I really dive deep into it, I have a few announcements. One, I've really missed all of my worldies, so thank you to everybody who subscribed. I'm so excited for this journey that we're all on together. I have mention this on my over on my posts tab, but I am going to have a really big announcement at 450 subscribers. So if you're watching and you're not subscribed, subscribe so that we can speed that up for everybody. And then at 500 subscribers, I want to do a giveaway for everybody who supports my channel. I really enjoy making this content and I just want to say thank you. Now, my last announcement. You probably have been wondering, like, where's WhyWrrld? Like, what is she doing? Like, I feel like she's just always on here yapping her big mouth, flapping her high yellow gums about some big backs. Where is she? I have been working on content. I have been recording and I have been posting. However, I just haven't been posting on YouTube. So I have finally started a Patreon just because I really don't like how much I feel the need to filter myself sometimes on YouTube. So I just now put my Patreon up, I want to say maybe yesterday or the day before. So you guys did request a video on why you should cut off your dusty half siblings and play cousins. That one, I just felt like it got a little too real for YouTube. So it is going to specifically be for my Patreon members. That is going to be a video that you can only get over there. Sometimes I'm going to have videos that are just having more raw and unfiltered content, and it'll still have the same editing style with like the images in the background and then like a clip of something if I feel like it's relevant. But I also will have audios over there as well. Sorry, there's a fire truck in the background. Oh my gosh, my town is burning down. But anyways, I think that's all I wanted to tell you guys. I think that's all I wanted to update you on. Oh, I have another video over there. The other one is, so I lost 50 pounds of fat without a gym, and my second Patreon post is a video talking about 5 controversial things that I did in order to achieve that. So that's the one I'm like really excited for. I just feel like I don't want, people who are like infiltrators to our space to come over here, get that type of content for the free ski. So I figure why not just put it over there. My Patreon, what it's I think it's just one tier, $5 a month. And I want to set up the Discord. I'm working on that today, trying to get that set up and trying to decide like what are the different conversation topics I want to set up, but I definitely want that to be another exclusive space for ladies to really just have a safe space. Like, unfortunately, the whole world is just not, pretty supportive girls like us just walking around like, oh girl, you're looking good. So that's why I want that type of space to be like. I want it to be a space where we can share our top secret sacred beauty tips, our workouts, encouragement. We can vent. I want you guys to get to know me better over there. So those are all of the announcements. Now let's get back into the content. So why do I think this is so important to talk about? In my opinion, I feel like whether you're leveling up with the things that you just have around the house, like in your pantry DIYs, face masks or something like that, or you're spending thousands of dollars to transform on like courses and books and coaching and, a personal trainer and workout equipment, wherever your price point of your level up is, you're actually still going to face resistance, which is insane to find out that it's not like you just start developing haters when you go get a BBL and you get a nose job or something, and then you get like, what do they call them? I always want to mention this hairstyle and I don't know what the heck it's called. Please let me know down in the comments below. What do you call that thing? Like in the black community, it's a lot of like sew-ins and wigs and stuff. even the crochet. But there's this other style where it's like they put the little bead on the girl's hair and they put it. It's like one of those really expensive type of like beauty enhancements. Comment down below if you know what that's called. I know that sometimes it involves a weft, some beads. I don't know why I don't ever know what you call it. Obviously I've never had it, but that's like, it always looks very good on the girls. I see it. But you don't have to go and spend thousands of dollars and it's like, oh my god, I got like entire facial reconstructive surgery, now I'm gonna have haters. No, you will literally develop haters. You can go into the Dollar Tree and be like, okay, I'm gonna go in here with $20 and I'm gonna like put together a little level up for myself, or we're doing a self-care night, and you will step out the house the next day and have 5 new haters because you did a Dollar Tree face mask. I'm telling you. So I just kind of want to prepare you guys for that and kind of help you understand the psychology a little bit of why you're going to be met with this resistance. There are just, whether or not you know it, once you start to level up, it's going to highlight to you the stagnant people in your life. And then, unfortunately, they, like clockwork, they're going to either directly or indirectly do things to shun and shame you out of leveling up. And this is going to be done either through comments about things that aren't worth your time and money. Like, I've dealt with that before. Like, oh, I just feel like there are better things to do with my time than to da 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 da. Da. Whole time you're a big back. You think the better thing to do with your time, like the time that I'm spending on my makeup, you're eating 7,000 calories. So I don't care about your opinion, Cheryl. Thank you. Nobody asked. But yeah, you'll be dealing with like the backhanded type of stuff, or even people directly saying stuff. They might outright just criticize your diet, your weight, your style, your choices. And it's because, since they're not on a level up journey and they're likely unfulfilled in their life, because it's not like they've already leveled up and they're just like where they want to stay. No, they're usually just hating, they're unfulfilled, and they actually have nothing to they have nothing better to do with their energy. They don't quite realize yet that energy is a finite resource. I don't have energy for the big back, for the hater, for the, I don't have the time. But let me tell you, the big back, because she's not investing her energy into unbigging her back, she has energy for you, honey. She has time for you. And it is sad because when you start to level up, like, I truly believe in evil eye. I think it's a real thing. And I think sometimes you can even feel the energetic weight of people talking negatively about you and your plans. And, they're looking at your social media, they're looking at a picture of you, they're staring deep into your eyes, they're just looking at you looking so cute and stuff like that. They're just talking all their crap, saying all these things that they really like. They should be paying you dust, but instead they're paying you attention. And you can feel that energetically sometimes. They're looking at your face, they're looking at your body, and they just have all of these nasty and rude thoughts. And it's not because you look bad, it's because they look bad. Like me, when I see a girl who looks fine, I'm fine too. So when I'm scrolling, I'm literally gonna be in my room like, yes, okay, per, because it doesn't, like, I'm not experiencing cognitive dissonance when I see another leveled up woman or another high maintenance woman. I'm like, yes, thank you. I'll scroll past and I'll see a girl who, like, literally this morning, I was scrolling and I saw some girl who had her hair done, and it was a style that I actually have never tried, and I was like, ooh, I want to try that. Like, I see a girl who's high maintenance and cute and stuff, and I just get inspired. I'm like, ooh, let me try that. You going on my Pinterest board, okay? But the level down girl, she sees you and it triggers something inside her, because she's over there lying to herself, saying that, being high maintenance is like immoral, that there's better things to spend her time and energy on. But then she sees you, the one who, you may be spending a lot of time, you may be spending a lot of money, whatever it is, And even though she's telling herself that, oh no, I'm happy being low maintenance, I'm happy bragging about how little effort I put into myself, then she sees you actually shining, actually glowing from within, actually being confident. She sees you getting attention and validation to just pile on top of how much you're already validating yourself. And it's like, can not compute. She literally just like starts overheating and she's so confused, which potentially you never know. Maybe when she overheats, she's burning calories, so that could be a good thing. Um, I wish that I could say that humans are all just beautiful and sweet and stuff, and that we all, when you look good, nobody's going to be looking at you hating on you. I wish I could say that nobody's going to be trying to discourage you. Everybody's just going to uplift you and be like, keep going, sister, you're killing it. No, unfortunately, human nature is just not all sweetness and marshmallows and sparkly unicorn poop. We're not. Humans are actually terrifying creatures. We have a dark side. In general, we all come into this world alone. And unless you were born into some like spiritual, peaceful, psychedelic water birth where your parents were just totally enlightened, and you were just born into a literal paradise, your nervous system likely first experienced, some sort of trauma or some sort of fear, like, oh my God, the first person who's touching me, this is not my mother. I can't, where's my mom? All the lights in here are so bright. Oh my God, this person just smacked me on my butt. Hopefully, after all of that crazy stuff. Because I just have issues with the ways that babies are born sometimes. It's just like, I'm not a doctor, but I'm like, damn. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, and that's the end of the sentence. um, but I do hope that after they did all the bright lights and you were experiencing something cold, somebody smacked you on the butt and everything. Hopefully, after that, you were placed somewhere warm and you were cared for by, somebody who loved you dearly. Maybe your mom, maybe you were adopted, whatever it was. Um, but I think that from that, I just think that we're hardwired as humans to want to survive and to seek out trying to survive. We're seeking out survival on a primal level. I think in the earliest years that we are alive, we learn that we actually have to manipulate the larger humans around us to do things for us, like feed us, hold us, or bathe us. Before we can speak, we cry. We say, I'm going to annoy you until you change my diaper. I'm going to annoy you until you feed me. I'm going to annoy you until you give me some attention because you need to meet my needs. And if you don't meet my needs, then you're not getting sleep. That's kind of how it is. We learn that we can't necessarily grab these things ourselves, but we need other people to do them for us. And so that's where we kind of first learn about manipulation. We learn to pull the strings of our outer reality just a little bit. And I'm not saying manipulation with like a negative connotation. No, I don't believe the whole, oh, kids are manipulative and evil and stuff. I think of it in the sense of you're trying to shape your outer reality. I need food. My body, my primal instincts are telling me to cry or babble or point or gesture or throw a tantrum until I get this big human right here to get it for me because I can't get it. I can't reach it. But then eventually, we learn how to grab and to babble and to throw things to hit. We learn to spit, to walk, to talk, and eventually we are going to learn how to do these things for our own selves. But I do think how like part of our, I don't know what it is, there's a part of us that still holds on to the desire for the humans around us to do things for us, because I do think that it's kind of like this: when you're a baby, you start off, all the humans around you are doing things for you, and then as you get older you can do things for yourself, and then you have to do all the things for yourself again. Especially like in poverty and things like that. That's why a lot of
Some people, they're like doing their own hair and nails because it's their passion. Some people are doing their own hair and nails because they're in poverty. If they don't do it, it's not getting done. But then as then you gain more wealth privilege, then you return almost kind of like how it was as a baby, to where people are doing things for you again. But I will say that before you reach that point to where you have a stylist, you have a team, you have this, that, and the third, um, I think that for both men and women, we're going to want, just like how it was when we were a baby, people brought things to us, they met our needs. You know, so I feel like sometimes with men, they might want your free labor. They remember when their mom, when they were hungry, she just whipped out her tit. You know, they're like, dang, well, maybe you don't have a tit for me, but you can bring me a sandwich. And I could make the sandwich, but I want you to make the sandwich. Um, you know, they want your free labor. They might want your free cheeks. They want your free cheerleading. They want something. Sometimes, well, most of the time. And then women, sometimes they may want access to men through proximity to you. If you're the pretty girl, you may have, you know, girl, oh, I don't want to come off sounding mean, because I'm thinking about specific women I've dealt with in my life, who have tried to exploit me and actually not been good friends to me. But that can happen sometimes, where you may have a girl who really on some level, she actually doesn't like you. She just sees the type of attention and abundance that you pull in, and she just kind of wants a little bit of your shine. She wants the claim to fame to be like, oh, I know WhyWrrld. I'm so and so's friend. And so that may be that she wants your man, or she wants to get some of the attention you get from men. And if she's really male centered, it'll be about that. Um, if not, it could be other things that she just wants access to. Maybe she just wants to know your whole beauty routine. She just wants to know everything about you, all your secrets and stuff, whatever it is, because she feels like that does something for her. She feels like maybe it'll elevate her social status or something like that. Maybe she wants you to be her free, um, you know, stylist, her free makeup artist or something, her free nutritionist and personal trainer. She, instead of her paying to get a professional, she just likes how you look, and so she just really wants to copy your whole diet, your whole everything. She doesn't even know that everybody's body is different, so you could copy what I do and you still wouldn't look like me, sis. Like, and that's how it is for a lot of you. You've probably noticed this yourself. You've noticed men and women trying to use you to gain something. They might want your time, they might want your effort, or whatever it is that you know yourself. You know whether or not you tell people about your gifts and your talents and your abilities. Um, you know, hopefully by this point, if you're watching, hopefully you know your talents. Hopefully you know what you're good at. You know your strengths. And men and women, oftentimes, you need to get aware of your strengths, because if you don't get aware of them, you're going to have other people, who see that you don't know your value, trying to exploit you. You know, if you have to really value your own gifts and strengths and abilities and put a price tag on those, because if not, if you say, oh, you know, I guess I just know how to be a software engineer. I'm not a software engineer, I'm just using that as an example, like an extreme example. But let's say it's like, yeah, just like, let's say you're being a little bit too humble, then that is like, that's a high paying job, being a software engineer. Like, that's why it just popped in my head. But if you don't understand the value of that skill, you'll have people being like, okay, all you do is software engineer. It's not all that. You could come do it for me for free. And if you don't know any better, you will. You will go do that for free. They're going to, you know, they want to take your skills and stuff, and they want to get it on, you know, as big of a bargain as they can, and they want to use your gifts and your light to advance their own agendas, because that's human nature sometimes. Unfortunately, that's just what it is. So you can either, you can learn the game and play it right, or you can be, oh man, I wish people were good people. Well, they're fuck. Ooh, well, they're not. um, I do feel like for women, it is so interesting that it's like we're socialized that in order to be seen as a good woman, you are expected to donate your time, your creative gifts, your nurturing abilities, and your emotional energy into things and people that don't even serve you. Like, that's, a good woman has to be giving and this, that, and the third, right? You kind of see like there's kind of a pattern that's starting to develop where it's like they want to devalue your labor. That way they can get it for free. That's kind of what is that that's the whole kind of crux of this high maintenance conversation. You know, all of your effort and energy, they don't want you spending it on yourself, because if you're spending it on yourself, then you're not spending it on them. Like, duh. Or not duh, but to me it's like when I had this epiphany, I'm like, oh, well, I figured this out a while ago. Once I started becoming, more high maintenance, I'm like, dang, why so and so don't like me anymore? Why people looking at me like I'm the Wicked Witch of the West? Oh, that's why. It's like you're looked at as conceited for setting your standards and your price of admission. You know, how much it costs to access you and your gifts. Instead of people realizing that they just might not be on your level, they might feel intimidated by your consistency, they would rather try and get you at a bargain. And that's why some people, I would say, especially red pill aligned men and women, they devalue things like domestic labor is a big one. Like, nobody gets in their car and drives to the maid headquarters, the personal chef headquarters, and they knock on the door. They wait for somebody to open the door, and they say, okay. They open the door and say, hi, how can we help you? Say, excuse me, ma'am. These things that you are charging for are so easy, I could do them myself. You should stop charging people. You should do them for free. You should be my personal chef for free because I can do it myself. You should be my maid for free because I can do it myself. Nobody, like, no man, no red pill aligned person is showing up to the dry cleaners and saying that. They're not showing up to like, it doesn't happen because those are people who actually set their price. They already know their price. So, the red pill people, they know that they can't go in there and say, oh yeah, this is so easy, I can do it myself, blah blah blah. They don't see any value in trying to go haggle with these people over their price and argue it down, because they're like, okay, they already have their price set. They know that it's worth $100. They know it's worth $1,000. So I'm not even gonna waste my time going in there trying to tell the maid service to give me free services, trying to tell the personal shopper that or the personal chef or whatever. I'm not gonna go tell them. I'm not gonna go tell the streetwalker. I'm not gonna go tell the prostitute that she should give me those services for free. She already told me I want full access, full service. It's gonna cost this much. She already told me that I want her to bust it and give me that
the smoosh
and do it like this and that and swing from this way. And she told me for that package, it costs this. Okay. They're not going to say, hey, I want the splish splash oosh gosh that you got, and so I need it for free because everybody else is giving it for free. They don't go to the hooker and say, do it for free. They don't go to the strip club and say, do it for free. They don't say, hey, give me a lap dance for free because this other girl in the corner, she'll give it to me for free. This girl that I went to high school with, she'll give it to me for free, so you need to give it for free. They're not going to say that to the people who already set their price. But you didn't set your price. So they see an opportunity. They're going to tell you that things like your hobbies, your mental health, your spirituality, your passions, your dreams, they're not worthwhile. That they're childlike. They're a waste of your time. Why? Because if you're not pursuing those things, then you can do this labor for them for free because you already said it was free. You already said that, well, I guess he could make himself a sandwich, so I'll just make the sandwich for free. He can make it, so I guess I should make it for free. Don't get me wrong, okay, if you are completely lacking nuance and you're not seeing where I'm coming from with this, okay, yes, I'm going to say there are women who are happily partnered and they get to be high maintenance in a relationship and they're not living a dusty lifestyle and nobody is trying to get them to do labor for free. Yes, there are women who get married and the guy gets them a chef or whatever, or there are girls who do all of that domestic labor and then they're still able to be high maintenance and maintain their relationship and they never get tired and they have the, like, okay, that exists. 9 times out of 10, that's just not most women. And if that was most women, then society wouldn't be so obsessed with trying to make it seem like high maintenance women are evil. The reason that they're trying to make it seem like high maintenance women are evil is because most women, it's I'm going to be high maintenance or I'm going to do all this free labor for you. Usually it's one or the other. Usually you're not getting both. Most women, it's like I'm either going to do all the high maintenance and then do all this labor for myself in my own home where I get to make it all pink if I want and decorate it however and eat whatever simple little girl dinner I want. I want to eat peppers and celery tonight, so that's what I'm going to make. I'm not making smothered pork chops and, fried chicken and pig's feet for you. I don't want to make all those things for you, you know. I'm just saying that typically they don't go hand in hand. Of course, sometimes it does, but it doesn't typically. And people know that. I've even noticed that to some women, like they'll even see being ugly as a way to show sisterhood with other women. Like, I don't even brush my teeth if I'm going to be around my friend's man, and I don't even wear lipstick. I don't wear lipstick because I'm not a liar like you. I'm not trying to trick men into thinking I woke up with hot purple lips like you harlot. That's how they really feel sometimes. And it's so crazy. It's so funny. In reality, a lot of them they're actually just ashamed by their lack of discipline and they're trying to cope. Many high maintenance women know how to block out the background noise of the big back bullies that are always up in your beauty enhancements, all while they need to be all up in the wait list for bariatric surgery. I feel oppressed. The thing is, high maintenance women know that there are 24 hours in a day. They don't feel shame for wanting to feel valuable and use a few hours of those on themselves. Or, they know that the money in the world is limited. They only got so much money in their bank account. They say, well, I'm not going to donate all of my money to charity. Maybe I will spend a couple thousand on myself every month. Maybe my maintenance budget is $5,000. And who's going to check me? And no, not every woman who's doing that is broke. Y'all might be broke. Just like stay out of other women's pockets. I hate that. That is a thing, a term that I am coining, privilege watching. Just like in the hood, how they'll call it pocket watching. You're privilege watching. Stay out of my pockets. Stay out of my privileges. Stop trying to clock my skin tone. Stop trying to clock how skinny my waist is. Stop trying to clock how many calories I intake every day. Focus on your own big dusty body. Focus. Focus on that over there, ma'am. High maintenance women don't shy away from placing value on themselves. They aren't waiting for you to tell them how much of their time they deserve. Like, how you gonna tell me I spent too much time on myself? How you gonna tell me I spent too much money on myself? How you gonna tell me how little it should take for me to maintain myself? Okay, I understand that you just need to splash water on your face and you are so low maintenance. You're this low maintenance natural queen. I understand that you don't even comb your hair. You don't even brush your teeth. Okay, go off, sis. Okay. Like, what do you want? You want a cookie? Do you want a cookie? Okay, you stink.
That's weird.
You ugly and you fat. Here's your cookie. Congratulations. Like, what do you think you're about to get for that? A lot of times, what they're trying to get is the male gaze. A lot of times, that's what they're trying to do. I've said before, and I'll say it again, I don't think I'm ever going to stop thinking this. I don't think that high maintenance women make the best wives. And that's because I'm coming at it from like the red pill type of view, or the male centered view of what a wife is supposed to be and what it takes to be a good wife. Like, a good wife is a slave. A, A good wife is just like a maid, a personal chef. She takes getting mistreated. She forgives things like infidelity. You know, she deals with his poor financial management. She deals with him not even taking care of his own body and his own health. Because you have to think, these girls who are bragging about being low maintenance, what type of man is she ending up with? She's ending up with an even lower maintenance man. So that girl who's sitting there bragging about, oh, I don't need all that makeup, best believe her man's balls smell like bounce. His teeth look like a cavernous. Oh my god, let me gather myself. I've actually been around women. Sometimes they are religious, or in general, they're just red pill aligned, you know. Um they try they seem to, you know, I'm not going to assume, they seem to try and prove their authenticity, their morality, their maternal nature, and that they are wife material by proclaiming to anyone who will listen, even bragging that they are the lowest maintenance woman on the planet Earth. And this, it's like the pick me evolution. Like, it's like, if y'all into like Pokemon and stuff, you know how first it's like the little Pikachu, and then it's like, oh, and then it's like the super big whatever. I don't really know a lot about Pokemon, so I don't know all the names and stuff, Charmander, Salamander, whatever. But it's like, if there's like the basic pick me, it's like, I'm not like other girls, I watch anime, eat pizza, and like sports, yeah, like that's like basic pick me. um then there's like, I would say like maybe middle of the road pick me, that kind of like, she had her first little evolved into like being more of like being even more male centered, where she just takes it up, she takes up the mantle of being like, I am super, I'm super pick me, and my job is to hold the fellow women accountable. So what they do is, that would be like just I think people call it just pasty things. That one, the one who's trying to be a pick me, but we all say that she's really a pass me. She's been passed over quite a few times because she's publicly saying, you can cheat on me, and nobody even wants to be with her to cheat on her. Isn't that sad? Isn't that so sad? But I digress. Which I might make another video about this. In the first place, you can't hold other women accountable if men are still giving them validation. I can't tell women, hey, you should lose weight, if they're like, yeah, but I'm still getting attention from Day Day. If she centers her life around attention from Day Day, and Day Day, you're still sleeping with that big back, I'm not going to be like, this is just for the, you got to come to my content to find this, hey, lose weight and stuff. I'm not going up to the big back Rasputia and telling her what she needs to do with her life. She like it, I love it, you know. That's not my job. But I think it's funny how when we were little girls, it was expected for us to play with baby dolls, to play dress up and wear cheap makeup, and you know, like the little sparkly like lip glosses that are literally just like sparkle, probably some food color and like Vaseline or something. You know, it was like expected. If anything, you were like weird if you were a little girl and you weren't like that. It was like, what the heck? Like, I feel like that's how we're actually expected to be as kids. And then at some point, you're expected to just like get serious and put your big boy pants on, which is so weird because it's like, I see on the internet, like my algorithm doesn't show me stuff like that anymore because I've learned how to control my algorithm. But before I knew, it's been made very clear to me that men are tired of these masculine women. And I'm like, to me, it's just kind of counterproductive because I'm like, if that's the case, if you hate women being so masculine, then I don't really understand what's the beef with high maintenance women. Okay, so the women start off when they're younger. I think the issue is that, like, when you're younger, there's a lot of emphasis on like taking care of children. So I think when you become an adult, it's like, oh, we like the girliness where you want to pop out 8 babies and cook for me all the time and be my cum dumpster. I don't like when you want to like do things for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I think that maybe that's where the switch is, where they then want to demonize certain things. And it's like you're told that because, men and women have equal rights, that now you have to ignore your biology and even your heart to try and outperform a man. Like, ew, I just don't even want to. I'm literally just a girl. But I think that you know, I don't know. Like, I feel like the average American work schedule even conflicts with our natural rhythms as women, which have pre programmed us with times to slow down. But like the average American work schedule doesn't say, "Oh, you're going to be on your cycle, or you're in your luteal phase, and you're ovulating. So we're going to give you these kind of tasks." Like, no, your boss is not trying to figure out your cycle and sync up with when you're going to have energy and when you're going to be inspired in your body's internal summer. Like, they don't care. They don't care about when you're going to be the most creative, the most on the ball. They're like, "Hey, you need to be here 9 to 5, get your stuff done." So no, I think our society is even really behind when it comes to things like women's health. Like, it's thought to be a rite of passage to hate your period as a woman, to hate puberty as a woman, to hate yourself in your body. And I'm not going to say young men are exempt from this. So if you are my MLS men who are watching and stuff, I'm not trying to leave you out. I'm just sometimes I just have to talk to my girls, okay? Um but me, one thing about me, like in the real world, in real life, people never believe me when I say this, but I'm one of those girls who absolutely loves her menstrual cycle. Like, it makes sense to me, and I'm not trying to be like, "Oh, I'm a pick me" or anything like that. I will validate that if you like, it makes sense to hate yours if yours really sucks. Like, if you're a 7 day heavy flow, my cramps feel like piranhas are biting on my fallopian tubes and stuff and the inside of my uterus. I get that. Of course you're gonna hate your period. um like that like, duh, obvious. like like I'm not gonna invalidate that. But I have learned my body enough, my own personal body, my own personal cycles, my own personal hormones, and with a lot of trial and error as well. I've had my period for quite a while now. So I've had time to experiment with it. And I cared about myself even to experiment it. I didn't have the limiting belief of my period has to be a time that I hate. I didn't believe that. I did originally, right? But then eventually I was like, no, I don't feel like it has to be like this for me. And I'm not getting into things like fibroids and PCOS and all that other stuff. I'm not a doctor. I'm probably going to say that damn near every episode uh of this channel. But no, I'm not a doctor. I just know that what works for me. I know what supplements work for me, what teas work for me, what methods work for me. And so I love my period. I really honor that time to slow down. I don't have painful cramps. I'm not a heavy flow 7 day girly and stuff. Um I yeah, I was before, and I hated my period. So um but in general, I do think that the hate for the period is more so around how we're taught around it, or rather not taught about certain things. We're not even taught that, oh, your period can change based on what you eat, what you drink, even how you process your own emotions and stuff. If you really want to get into like the whole spiritual significance of your menstrual cycle. But I'm not going to get too woo woo on y'all in this episode. I'm going to keep it moving. um I just, my point is that, hey, I feel so calm every time of that month, and I literally feel like a feminine goddess with a beautiful fertile flower. So, and it's possible. You just have to believe that it's possible. Um, but I feel like low maintenance women, they they spend less time, money, and effort on themselves and their own ambitions, you know, and that's fine. I have no smoke with that. I have no issue with that. But the feeling is not mutual, which is why they don't want you to be high maintenance. I'm not going to the low maintenance girlies and saying, put some makeup on, cake it on. I'm not telling them that, but they are always going to have an issue for you. I I've like me, I don't have a BBL. I'm not anti BBL though. I don't want a BBL because I don't need one. But and I'm also not even saying that girls get one because they need one. Oh my god, people are just sensitive on the internet. So you gotta, you gotta say everything, put your little disclaimers. But I've never seen a BBL girl go up to a girl with a flat pancake booty and be like, "Girl, you need you one of these. You need to get you one." Like they don't care. Like they could literally care less. They're dealing with their own life. And I know the BBL girls are kind of taking the hit. I don't know. Comment down below if you have a BBL. Do they really have that like smell people keep talking about? Like if so, that's unfortunate because that's not cool. I don't think a lot of girls got informed about that before they got their procedures. So if that's the case, I would actually feel really bad because that's not cool. I am not one of those girls who just hates on a procedure that I don't have or that I can't afford simply because of not being able to afford it. If you got the money, go off, sis. You look hella good. A lot of the girls who got the BB, some of them you can tell, some of them are botched, but some of them, a lot of them, I'm telling you, hey, you can't, indetectable. But I do feel like it is envy a lot of times, which is why low maintenance women will demonize you spending time on yourself because they don't have that time to spend on themselves. They have to take care of their 50, 11 kids that their husband, who's mean and cheating on them, is not helping them with. Like, they have to wash the skid marks out of their 42-year-old husband's drawers. Of course, they are angry about that. And I feel like this is why at a certain age as a woman you are expected to give up your identity and to just be someone's free assistant, dishwasher, therapist, masseuse, dominatrix, maid, private chef, scripper, all of that. It's either that, like, oh, you're expected, like, you're not supposed to be high maintenance to put that time into yourself as a woman. You're either you're expected to partner with a man and do it all for him, have some kids, do it for the kids, or you're expected, if you're the single woman and you're like, oh, don't be single and child free and don't want to donate your time and gifts freely to your community, like, oh wow. Like, okay, first of all, I think things like, okay, the future, super important. Take care of the kids, go be somebody's big sister, little sister program, be a mentor. Love that. Go be a cheer coach or something, a motivational speaker for the young women. I don't believe in the talking point that, oh, I don't have kids, so the kids of society are not my problem. No, I don't believe that. Those kids do become your problem. Those are the ones who end up breaking into your house or looting your, looting your store, whatever it is. They become people who want to go shoot in the mall or something sometimes. So yes, they can become your problem, but I don't feel like you should dishonor yourself in order to take on problems that you didn't create. Those are not your kids, so you know who should be taking care of those kids? The people who created those kids, right? Like, don't put the weight on yourself. You didn't make no babies. You don't need to go take care of babies. Now, if you want to, you can, but don't feel like you need to because you have no man and because you have no kids, because you're just this pretty single woman out here. Don't feel like you then need to go do something for free at the local church. Don't feel like you need to go babysit somebody's kids for free. Don't feel like you need to be somebody's therapist so they can complain to you about their dusty man, or they want you to give them a free ride somewhere as if gas doesn't actually cost money. you know I feel like when you're high maintenance, people don't like how unrelatable you become because they want to be able to trauma bond with you over your mutual insecurity. It's like, I hate my body. Oh, girl, I hate my body too. Yeah, we're big bags. It doesn't work when you're the high maintenance girl who's taking care of herself because, oh, I hate my body. Oh, damn, sis. You could do something about that. You don't have to hate your body. Yeah, they got free workouts on YouTube. Yeah, you could literally just like step in place in your room and lose weight. Yeah, you didn't know that? Yeah, did you know that nobody has a gun to your head forcing you to eat 20,000 calories every day? Did you know that? They can't trauma bond with you because you don't have a victimhood mentality. You're going to say, okay, chop, chop, get up, do something about it. Because there are tons of things that you can't control, but you can control certain things. So a lot of times, high maintenance women, we know how to, a lot of us, it can even be soothing to even our inner child or something, or to the parts of us that are broken and damaged and stuff, to control something. Maybe you couldn't control that you were assaulted, right? Maybe you can't control that you grew up in poverty. Maybe you can't control if we go to World War III, but I could put my lip gloss on, but I can go get my coil sculpting, but I can drink my green juice, but I can, okay. And that can bring you a lot of mental peace to be able to say, like, there are some people who are, they're always stressed. Like, for example, a type of girl I could never be friends with, social justice warrior. I'm not saying that your cause is not valid, but you having a higher amount of cortisol in your body because you're stressed over stuff that you're likely not impacting that much, like, you being stressed, I'm not going to be a martyr for nothing. I'm not being a martyr for Black Lives Matter, any movement. I'm especially anything in the Black community, where half the time you being called a high yellow ramen noodle headed ass bitch, etc. anyways, even especially when they want to clout chase all the civil rights leaders was exoticals, dang near all of the civil rights leaders who actually did stuff was biracials, triracials, high yellow people. But then they want to turn around and be like, oh, you're not even that black, whenever they feel like they can. Like, okay, I don't have it. I burned my cape a long time ago. I'm not caping for nobody. I'm not protesting nowhere. I'm not reposting, sharing nothing. That is so sad. Sorrows and prayers. Sorrows and prayers. That's all I got for you, love. Because I don't have the energy. I don't need to have the extra cortisol. I don't need to have the stress cravings again. I'm going to control what I can in my reality, and I can control my maintenance. That's what I can do. You know, I can control my mind. I can listen to my little podcast. I'm not keeping up with everything that's going on with, the world stage all the time, because yes, sometimes I want to know, but I don't always just need to be sitting there stressed. While the social justice warrior down the street, she's sitting there stress eating and everything because she's being just a little bit too woke. You just close your third eye just a little bit, sis. You know just a little bit too much, because you know all that, and then what? You're aware of all of the conspiracies, and now what are you going to do with that information? Are you starting a revolution? Are you going to make different decisions? You're aware that, oh, they put this in the air and this in the water and this in the milk and this in the vegetables. Okay, so what are you doing? Are you just fasting 24/7? What are you doing about it? Like, I'm not doing that. I'm going to be watching my Shira 7 or something like that. I'm going to, I'm not, no, I don't have time for that. I'm not doing it. You can't make me do it. You can't hold a gun to myself and force me to care about stuff that I can't impact, and force me to neglect the things that I actually can change. Sorry, I'm not anybody's mule or mammy. That's why people have issues with your beauty enhancements, your plastic surgery, your extensive self-care routines, and your invasive procedures. Because nowadays, you know, we're seeing more and more glamorous beauty, more and more like fluid beauty. Like, I love to watch, there's this exotical, I can't remember her name, but I'm gonna try to insert her here if I can find a clip. She does makeup and stuff. She kind of reminds me of E. Kane a little bit. Not that I know anything about her personality, but just the way she looks, she kind of looks a little bit like, I think E. Kane is very pretty, first of all, so that's why, like, it's a compliment. I think she kind of looks like E. Kane and Glorilla, which I think Glorilla is pretty, and I think this makeup artist, she looks like her. But I love watching her content because she is really fluid. Like, I think she keeps her hair kind of short like E. Kane does, I think, so that she can do the different wigs. And she's really skilled with makeup. Like, she does like those more theatrical type of looks, glam looks and stuff. And I think that this wasn't something that existed back in the day. And this is something that in a circle of low maintenance girlies, this isn't going to exist, because I feel like having a fluid beauty standard is kind of inherently high maintenance. You may actually be using makeup, hair extensions, contacts, whatever, to look more like your grandma who maybe has a higher concentration of one of your admixtures or something like that. Or you're trying to look like a celebrity who's maybe a different race than you or something, but everybody says you guys have the same features. Or maybe she's got a different admixture or something like that, or whatever it is. Even if, I I love me some beauty enhancements, and I love all of my different admixtures, and I think it's very fun. Like, I love to play into all of my admixtures, like, and nobody can tell me it's self-hating. Okay, my auntie has blonde hair, so okay, I want to look like my auntie today. How are you going to tell me I'm anti-black because I want to look like my own auntie? But I think that with that, when you're being more fluid with your beauty, you're using more artificial enhancements and stuff like that. Nobody wakes up with purple lips unless you're waking up sleep. But I think it creates a starker contrast to the all natural and the imperfect kinds of beauty. Because let's say if your face is naturally asymmetrical, but then you use makeup or filler or something like that, or Botox to make it symmetrical. Let's say you had an identical twin who has that same asymmetrical face now. Now their previously just charmingly slightly asymmetrical face could literally start looking like wonky and really cooked next to you. and, and that's just what happens. Like, the more beautiful people are becoming, the more ugly some other people are becoming. Not because they're really becoming uglier, but because it's like you use, like, things that were normalized previously are becoming like, oh, the other person who was like, yeah, my nose has a crazy looking bump in it or something like that, and I just learned to love it. The next girl is like, oh yeah, I did learn to love it, but I loved it and still changed it, and now I love the new nose I have too. So then it's like, it kind of like they start overheating, they're getting confused, they're like, hold on, so I can love it and still change it, so I can change it in first place, so I don't even have to love it. Because a lot of times people saying like, oh yeah, I just learned to love it, they're learning to love it to cope with the fact that they maybe cannot change it because it's impossible to change. Maybe it crosses one of their beauty boundaries, like, I'll never touch my face, I don't ever want to do anything to that, I don't, I could get botched here or there, but I don't want to end up botched, I don't want to risk being botched in my face. That's valid. Sometimes people, they just can't afford it, or sometimes they just want to, sometimes people are doing stuff for other people's validation. They're like, hey, I'm ugly, but I'm real and ugly. It's like they want to, they do assign moral value to whether you are natural or if you're not. So there are girls right now who have like rotted teeth. Their hair is thin and they're balding all over the place. They are shaped like a cone of melted ice cream, and they stink and they smell like cigarettes. But, but, they're all natural, right? I'm all naturally ugly like this. So, it gives them whatever type of, likely male gaze they're trying to get, that validation, that helps for their goals. They're like, I'm just trying to look like the most natural, most authentic, least deceptive, and the most low maintenance woman to Day Day or to bottom shelf Brad over here. So, that it, if they like it, I do love it. I really love it. That is part of the reason that the high maintenance is so demonized, because your teeth whitening highlights how yellow her teeth have been this whole time. When you got your facial, then it was like, dang, I didn't even realize, but her face really has a lot of texture to it. Oh my God, I never even realized that. When you put concealer on, or some people, they actually do things. I think there are procedures to like get rid of your bags or your dark circles, or there's even just getting sleep, doing certain like eye creams and facials and stuff like that. All that you're doing, it just made it like, you just made her eye bags look heavier, you just made her face look puffier. Your facelift makes her jowls more obvious. I've actually seen that. Oh yeah, if you're young like me and you think that at a certain age women stop being all catty and this, that, and the third, and then they like, don't ever let older women, oh, this is my biggest pet peeve, don't let them old maids let you think that the young women, the Gen Z, the millennial women and stuff, are just so vain and so this, that, and the third. I literally have seen women 60s and up. Like there was one woman who was in her 70s. She got a facelift, undetectable. I don't know what she looked like before, but she always looked great. And that woman is actually constantly getting positive validation for how young she looked. And then a woman who was like 10 years younger than her in her 60s looked like SpongeBob's grandma. I shouldn't say that. She looked like Mrs. Puff. She looked like if Mrs. Puff got sat on by Mrs. Puff. She was mad and she was trying to basically out the other lady and be like, oh, well, she got a facelift. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, the facelift looked good. Then come to find out a couple months later that that one who was being the hater, she said literally, oh yeah, if I were to get anything done, I'd probably get my jowls removed. Oh, so you were just hating on that girl and that's why you were trying to you felt like you was doing something because you outed her face. She looked good. Okay, I'm not one of those girls who's gonna be like, oh, you got a surgery. See, I was gonna tell you that you look good, but then I found out you got a surgery. No, you still look good. Okay, who's your doctor? They did great. When I turn 70, maybe I'm gonna need her facelift doctor because that girl looks good. But you know, they see it as almost kind of like a slight to what they're doing, you know, especially if you're one of those girl, you can kind of, I will say that you can get this even the worst if you're the type of girl who has a fluid or like an artificial beauty standard. Let's say you like to cosplay, or you don't care about looking ethereal, and you don't, let's say you don't necessarily feel the need to look human. You're gonna, like, you could get hate for that because you're gonna make the next girl just look more average. You could take a regular beautiful looking all-American girl and you can put her next to the girl who doesn't, like, what I mean when I say you don't feel the need to look human, you know how there are people who they may play with contacts, their features, their makeup, whatever, and it's like, whoa, you kind of literally look like, you kind of looking like a goddess right now. You kind of looking like a fairy right now. You literally kind of looking like a mermaid. That's gonna make the other girl, she looks more like a human. And I think it does kind of give some people dysmorphia or something like that. But it's like, if you really have an issue with it, push for legislation that bans makeup. Like, I'm not gonna just, like, out of solidarity stop taking care of myself. And I do feel like, especially when people are looking to gain from you donating them your time for free, they know it's going to be much harder to achieve their goal of securing your free labor when you're high maintenance. Let's say you meet a person who's looking to exploit you. When you met them, maybe you worked out for 90 minutes a day, you had a 20-minute morning routine, and your phone went on do not disturb every night so that you can unwind for the evening. Others who are threatened by that, you know, they're going to try to shame you out of that. They're looking for your workout to, they're looking for you to start missing days. They're looking for you to start cutting it down to a 45-minute. They would like you to have a smaller morning routine because every minute that you're not spending on yourself, they're like, maybe I can convince her to donate that to me. Maybe I can convince her that there are better things to do with her time than spending that time on herself. I'll make her feel like a bad person, and then to try to gain my approval or something, she's going to be like, hey, can I, like, be your free therapist so you can think I'm a good, valuable woman in this society? You know? Can I, like, kind of cape for you for a little bit, or kind of be a mammy or a mule? You want to, like, turn me into your mule for half a day just so I can feel like a good person and get your validation? Like, no. People end up feeling threatened by what you're doing to maintain yourself, whether or not they know the specifics of what you're doing to achieve your look, because you're likely going to carry yourself like you're that girl or that guy. So they don't know. You might look like it took 6 hours to achieve that. Maybe it only took one, but you walking around like you spent the last 24 hours just making yourself feel like, you know, like just really investing into yourself. So sometimes people, because they're so low maintenance, they don't even realize that, yeah, if you just put in 30 more minutes, you could have looked like this. Just like 30 more minutes. Like, you was right there. And I'm not even saying this is like, oh, I'm the baddest bee in the world, but it's like, then who's supposed to be the baddest bee in my world if it's not me? Like, I'm not going around bullying people, but Like, what am I supposed to see when I look in the mirror? When I look in the mirror, I see the baddest B. Like, I don't. What do you see when you look in the mirror? You should see the baddest B. Like, who's? This is my mirror. This is my brain. This is my body. This is my life. This is my movie. I'm the main star. Ain't nobody came to see you, Otis. I'm not one of those girls who's like, I'm gonna feel like, oh, it's a hierarchy or whatever. I don't feel like that. But I've worked to meet my internalized beauty standard. And I actually have a little bit more work to do, but my internalized beauty standard is not like, oh, it's her. Oh, it's her. If I could just look like her and copy and paste everything about her. No, there are pretty girls of literally every ethnicity that I want to take a little piece from. I'm like, ooh, I like how shiny her hair is. Okay, let me work on that. Okay, I like her figure, and she's the same height as me. She's not the same admixture as me. She might be a white girl, she might be Asian, but I like her, her ratio of body fat to muscle and stuff. Let me see what she does and see if I can make that happen for me. I just feel like that is kind of a form of self-hate, to look at another person and be like, oh, if I could just have everything they have, which I actually had that experience before. I remember a girl telling me like, oh, I just want your body. Not like, oh, she wanted to, well, no, I think she also didn't want to sleep with me, but like literally, like, not like, oh, I love to just like get a little bit more snatch. Like, how did you get your waist to like hip ratio like that? I just want your body. My whole body, the whole body, like, sickness. It's a disease sometimes. When you have made the shift to start treating yourself like you are someone, people notice. Some people who hate high maintenance women, they may have like mother wounds where they have some core confusion or trauma around their own worthiness. And sometimes this can manifest actually in triggers surrounding self care. It's like your self care literally triggers them. But at the end of the day, the same way that typically it's like, don't take fitness advice from somebody you don't want to look like, don't take relationship advice from somebody whose dating life you don't want, you know, don't take maintenance advice from women that you don't want to look like, you don't want to smell like, because unfortunately, this is very unfortunate. I'm going to try to get out of my petty mode. Unfortunately, some of the women who brag about being low maintenance don't know how to wash their cookie properly. They don't know how to keep their pH balanced. They smelling like fish and chips, bragging about not wearing lip gloss. Their priorities are out of whack. So don't place any value on what certain people say. Like, some men who do the same, they regularly have skid marks in their drawers as adult males. They're telling you you're too high maintenance, but they don't know how to wipe their asshole properly. So if you're high maintenance, keep it up. You have found your safe place. For one, people are dirty. So don't let them tell you how to take care of your body. Don't let them tell you how much is too much. Because for her, a shower every day might be too much. Keeping her pH balanced might be too much. Like, come on, flossing might be too much for her. Come on. Like, you know who you are. You keep doing what makes you step into the mirror and feel like, yes, you should want to just look at yourself. If it's working. If it ain't broke, why fix it? You should be looking to I shouldn't say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You should be looking to constantly improve your maintenance routine, experiment, take chances, and do things that make you feel happy. And also know that you don't have to spend $5,000 a month to be a high maintenance girly, okay? Some girls, they literally are so low maintenance that they will feel like going to the Dollar Tree and spending $20 is too high maintenance for them. But you know better. You know better. I'm talking to you. Also, second, people are mentally unstable. So don't let them tell you that you're doing too much for your mental health. Half the people who are going to tell you that, oh, maybe that ASMR, that podcast, that, what that massage you're getting, that aromatherapy, Sometimes it's even just regular therapy. A lot of people are going to feel like that type of stuff is high maintenance. Oh, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, a lot of those people are literally on edge. They're 2 days from ending it all. So don't let people try to tell you that you're doing too much for yourself. 3, remember, people want you to do things for them for free. So why not just start your charity at home and take care of yourself for free? Or not for free, because you deserve it. If you want to be your own sugar daddy, then do that. And last but not least, thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you made it this far, drop the cherry emoji in the comments below. So what do you think, ladies? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, worldies, eyes on the prize.